What's your favorite scary movie?
We have such sights to show you.
Monsters!
All you have left is my desire.
My name is Frankenstein!
Batman's gone mad!
Oh, no tears, please. It's a waste of good suffering.
See this? This is my boomstick!
I ate his liver with some fava beans last night. This ass.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
It's alive! It's alive!
Here's Johnny.
I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash your brains.
There are certain rules that one must abide by in order to successfully survive a horror.
Welcome to the debauchery.
What's up, all you horror movie loving fuckers? Welcome back to another episode of Fright Flick Fuck Marry Kill. We've made it through another week. It's fucking Friday, so everybody should know the routine by now. Run over there, grab your chair, run to the kitchen, mix up your favorite beverage, just like me, because tonight I'm flying solo. It's just me and my co-host, Gentleman Jack. And so, hold on, let's get us a sip in to kick it off. Oh, Gentleman Jack break. Delicious. Yeah, we're back for another episode this week. And for this week's episode, it was another one of those, week to week kind of game plans that I do here. And I was thinking, the last couple that I have done, newer movies, like are either like on Shudder you pay for. I've gotten some on Amazon, stuff like that. So this week I wanted to do something free. I wanted to do something on our good old buddy, our good trusty, never let us down Tubi. Tubi is wonderful. And so I wanted to do something that everybody could go check out. Hopefully everybody can, because I know apparently there are movies that we get here that we have listeners in Australia and New Zealand and places like that. I'm not sure how Tubi works over there, but hopefully they have access to be able to watch it. But so yeah, I wanted to do something on Tubi, and here on this show, if you've listened before, I am a huge fan of independent type horror movies. I was late to the horror movie game. Some people have been watching horror their whole life. They're horror gurus. They know all this information, all this shit. I was not one of those. I was late to the game. Grew up super religious, so couldn't fuck with none of that stuff back in the day growing up. So being late to the horror game, I probably only got into it a couple years ago. My younger brother John, who's been on the show, got me into it. And of the movies I've watched, and I've watched a ton of them, and just jumped head first. And the ones that I've just been drawn to are the independent horrors, where there are, kind of like no rules. There's no big man at the top pulling the fucking strings saying, don't do that, do this, don't do that. I don't like that kind of shit. That's kind of the way we do it on this show. Is like, we just kind of do our own thing. But so yeah, big fan of independent. And so I came across one. I just jumped on Tubi, and I did want to do a newer one, something new on Tubi. And so I did find one. It's a 2024 film, had just recently came out, and that's what I decided to do this week. And before we dive into it, if you haven't seen it, when I tell you the title of it, or if you're listening to this, you've already seen the fucking title in the description. But pause it, go check it out. I will spoil some shit in it. That's just what we do here. The past few episodes have done really well. I appreciate the people who you bunch of sick fucks out there that take the time out of your busy days and listen to this shit show. I appreciate it. Um, you know, week to week, somebody's out there still pushing play and listening to us. So I definitely appreciate it. Go check out the website, frightflickfmkpodcast.com. One stop shop, all the shows and shit are there, video, stuff like that. You can leave reviews. If you're listening on Apple, Spotify, and all that good stuff, leave us a review, 5 stars preferably. I'd appreciate it. But, hey, if you listen to this, if it's your first time, and you're like, what the fuck is this? And, you want to leave a 1 star, whatever, that's fine. You're not going to hurt my feelings. Leave me a comment. Let me know why. We'll get on here, talk some shit. That's just what we do here. If you're new to this show, if you, stumbled across us somehow, just like the title says, Fright Flick FMK, we rate them on fuck, marry, or kill. If you're more than a day old, you know how the game goes. So that's how we rate them here. We do any kind of horror movie. I am not one of those that just tries to stick to the popular shit or I really like extreme horror. I love like the hardcore type stuff. I'm really big fan of it. So, if somebody's got something that they would want us to talk about, you can just drop in the comments or leave a message or whatever and mention the movie. If we haven't talked about it, I have no problem getting on here, watching it and talking about it because, week to week, I have no schedule, no plan of what's coming week to week. I can't tell you what we're going to talk about next week. Some people are organized. Some people are, can sit down and plan out a month ahead of time and have all this shit lined up, give you a heads up. I don't work that way. It is a week to week around here. We shoot from the hip, and just send it. That's what we do. But I appreciate everybody who stopped by and listened to us. If you're listening on the podcast platforms, in the description there's some links. There's a link to of course, the website. There's a link to the Debauch Network. We're part of a group of podcasters. So go check that out. You could, if you're big into true crime, Criminal AF's on there, True Crime University. Give those a listen. A ton of people I know love true crime shit. I love true crime shit. They're really good shows. You'll enjoy them. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for some housekeeping shit. I don't like to spend a lot of time on it. And so we're going to jump into this one, people. Hold on. Let's get us a little sip. Everybody grab your drink. It's good stuff right there, people. Good stuff. Oh, and just a little FYI. Another thing I like to do with my gentleman and Jack. If nobody's ever tried it, I recommend it. Maybe it's just me. I like it. But I do, Jack and Coke a lot with a gentleman. Regular Jack. I like regular Jack, but I'm just a huge fan of gentlemen. But what I also like to mix with mine, other than just the Coke, is I will take me some apple pie moonshine. I think Smokies is the brand around here that I get. But I get me a jar of that apple pie moonshine and I put me a little bit in my Jack and Coke. And it does give it this like apple flavor, apple pie flavor with the gentleman kind of flavor. I don't know. It works for me. But yeah, highly recommend it. Apple pie moonshine. And they don't sponsor us. Don't worry. I'm just throwing that out there. If Mr. Jack Daniels ever comes across this and they want to, slide me a bottle or something, I'd appreciate it, but yeah, definitely the unofficial drink sponsor. But for me, it's the official drink for me. But yeah, we're going to get into this movie. Like I said, brand new on Tubi 2024. This week we're going to talk about a movie called Mr. Sleep. Mr. spelled out, the MISTER, Mr. Sleep 2024. It is on Tubi. Like I said, this should be free. If you can get it where you're at, it's not going to cost you anything to watch it. If you don't have Tubi, you're missing out on a lot of good stuff. So go download it and listen to and watch the movie. But on give a quick little description of this thing. As you can hear the way I talk sometimes, I'm not the smartest cookie in the jar, Carolina boy here, high school diploma type shit. So certain big words throw me off. I'm a 4 letter word guy. But yeah, I want to read a little what I pulled from interweb. I want to say it was like IMDb or some shit. You can go there and see all the same shit. But it's basically we're going to have us a deranged serial killer called Mr. Sleep. He survives prison execution and is reborn as a terrifying and unstoppable force of nature who unleashes savage and bloody revenge on a group of insomnia patients participating in a new drug trial. Now, don't get caught up in that part where I said bloody revenge. Don't get caught up in that because for me, I'm a huge, I'm a gore whore. Like I just enjoy that type of shit. This one did not. It's not going to give you a lot of that. So it's going to say bloody revenge. There's some revenge. There's some blood. Yeah, but for me, what tickles what really tickles my tank is the really bloody type shit. And yeah, on this show I just said tank. Nothing's off limits here, people. I'm telling you. We make fun of shit we shouldn't make fun of. We say things we shouldn't say. We laugh about shit some people may not laugh about. That's just what we do here. So if you don't fall into that category, hey, I appreciate you stopping by and giving us a try. But stick with us. I'm telling you, if you go get you a drink, because I tell people all the time, we do go better with alcohol. Like I'm just telling you. If you listen to this show sober, kudos to the ones who don't drink, hey, you are a true fan. But as a gentleman Jack break for the ones who's not watching on the YouTube, because we do have a YouTube version of this and also just the podcast, of course, audio version. But yeah, so Mr. Sleep and going into this, people, a lot of when it comes to independent horror, with independent, a lot of times budgets are low, so people have an idea of what they want to do, and there's certain things that they may not be able to do because budgets and stuff like that. One of the reasons I'm a huge fan of independent horror is, I'm not the type of person that can like really get an idea in my head and be able to somebody that can sit down and have a thought or an idea and put it down on paper. And the ones who come up with these movies and stuff like this. And, I find that impressive. I like it. That's why I'm a big fan of independence. Some of your bigger type huge movies, I feel sure there may be a room full of people sitting around coming up with these fucking bright ideas, but for independent, maybe you just got some guy out there who just had this thought in his head and he can sit down and he can spit this shit out. A couple of people I've had on the show who do independence. And so Trevor, hey brother, I can't wait till your new one comes out. Sid also can't wait till your new one comes out. A couple independent guys I've had on the show that are just that shit is just it's so cool to me that people can sit down and do that, and because I can't, it's not in me. But yeah, so with independent, I go into it. I don't go into it expecting like millions of dollars and this high dollar graphic bullshit type special effects stuff. I don't, and that's one of the cool things about it. People that can do certain things with a smaller budget and still just put out a good movie. And I definitely like it. And don't get me wrong, I've watched a ton of them. That was I a fan? No, there's been movies I've watched that I just didn't like them, but that's just me. I don't know if y'all know this or not, but give you a quick heads up. I am not a professional. I'm not. I do this because it's fun for me. I enjoy doing it. I have a good time talking about movies. But it's nothing about me is professional people. So I'm not one of those people that can watch movies and really peel back the layers and all of this, like, oh, this person was feeling that, or did I felt this when this happened. I'm not that type. You know, it's just there's certain things that I look for in movies, and if I check those boxes, that's a win for me. And if it doesn't, then it just don't. But I don't hate on people who see things a different way. Um, that's why I like it when people have different opinions on movies. Um, I can't stand people who want to bash other people because they may have an opinion of a movie. You know, we have social media for this shit show. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, stuff like that, X or whatever the fuck it's called now. And I follow a lot of horror pages, and I follow a lot of like independent horror stuff. And people will get on there and recommend a movie. But hey, I just watched this. You should go check it out. They're not going in and saying that it's the best thing that's ever been created. They're saying, hey, I just seen this. You should go check it out. And then people who jump in the comments be like, oh, and just talk shit to people because they had an opinion of a movie. I will never do that here. I tell anybody, same on the show, no matter what I say about a movie, I still tell people to go watch it. I'm not going to have a movie on here and say, do not watch that movie because, my professional country ass said it was shitty and you shouldn't watch it. Don't do that. Go watch any movie, especially horror. It's fucking horror. You know, get the good, you get the bad, you get the ugly ones, you get the fucked up ones, and every now and then you come across one that just hits you. That's the way it was with me when I first started getting into horror. When it came down to Billy Pond and Circus of the Dead, that movie Independent with Billy, and I seen it, came across it on Tubi and watched it, and to this day, that is my favorite. I love that movie, my favorite movie. So yeah, you're gonna come across one, and other people may watch it and think, I can't fucking, how do you like that shit? That's it's me. I don't judge you. Don't judge me, people. We just all gonna hear, we're all here to have a good time and just talk some shit about movies. So when it comes to the independents, when I come across one, um, I don't really watch trailers. I don't like to do trailers. A lot of times there's just be a name of something or a picture of the movie that catches my attention. And that's exactly the way I came across Mr. Sleep, was just scrolling through Tubi, looking for like something newer. And I seen the name of it. And one of the things that I'm a fan of, I am a fan of any type of horror that has to do with like sleep. Um, Movies that have to do with any type of like, insomnia or that sleep paralysis type shit. I find those creepy and I like them. There's another one out there, I think, that's on Tubi called Bed Rest. If you haven't watched that one, and for me, I'm saying I enjoyed it, but one called Bed Rest. But when I seen this one, Mr. Sleep, and I kind of read the description, what Tubi had on it. And I was like, okay, I want to check this one out. And at that moment, my mind's made up. Like, I want to do a show on it. No matter how the movie goes, I want to watch the movie, and then I'm just going to come on here because I want to show that, I am a huge supporter of independent horror. I'm a huge fan of having movies on here that may not be, it's not the big popular ones. I do shows like that here. I do the movies, some of the newer ones that are coming out here coming. I do know coming up soon that I'm going to be talking about the new Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey. And so like that one, I know it's a newer movie. I know I'm going to do it. And there's certain other ones I want to do that are these newer popular ones. But I like coming across ones that I can bring on here, maybe bring attention to. And, there's a handful of you little sick fuckers out there that are listening to this. So, hey, me talking about this movie and you've never heard of it, it does bring it to your attention. And you'd be like, man, I've never seen that or heard of it. You could go Google it and you're going to pull up, of course, the normal shit. I aim to be Rotten Tomatoes, not a lot on it. But, for me, it's just cool being able to talk about stuff that, that a lot of people may not have heard of. And so Mr. Sleep, like I told you in the description, deranged serial killer. And because when this thing's going to start off, and don't get me wrong, people, there's going to be some shit I talk about this thing. Like I'm gonna talk some shit because certain things I just like, what the fuck. Um, this movie does not check all of my boxes for things that I enjoy. Uh, so probably one of my biggest pet peeves when it comes to horror movies is like off-screen kills. Uh, I don't like it when you're showing me what's about to happen. You're giving me a little taste. You just give me a little. You're teasing me with what's about to go down, and then all of a sudden, when I start seeing the camera kind of like turning to the left or right, and then I'm like, oh fuck, you're gonna give me an off-screen kill, and you hear some screaming, you see a little blood splash here, and then that's one of my things. I'm not a fan of that. Like I want to see some shit like up close. You know, there's certain things in this movie that Mr. Sleep does. It's like some kills he does that I would love to see it when it happens. Like see it when it goes down. Because a couple of things, it was like, man, it'd be just be cool to watch that happen. But then I tell myself, hey, this is independent. There's a smaller budget. They may not, they don't have the budget to do maybe all this extra stuff that I would find super cool and would like it. And that's okay. But yeah, that's one of the boxes that didn't check for me. Almost every kill in this is going to give you a little tease of the kill. It's going to let you know what's coming. And then we're going to kind of move the camera and show you, and you're going to hear some shit, but you're not going to see some shit really. So that's one of my downfalls with this one. So when it made the comment about like, bloody revenge, there is revenge. Not so super bloody. I will say this. With this movie, it's one of those horror movies that it's not going to show you a whole lot. There's really not really a lot of bad language in it. There's no nudity. There's no crazy, off the chart kills that are just going to like, bother people. It's nothing like that. This is one of those that it's just, it kind of, it's got some creepiness to it. It's got a little twist to it. And I do love a good twist. I do like a movie that if it's going to be kind of a horror with a little thriller side to it, and if it gives me a little twist there where I'm kind of wondering what the fuck's going on, because we all know there's movies out there like your slasher type movies where this movie's a slasher. It's meant to be this one person is just going to be fucking slashing through everything. We get those, we know, but then we get those every now and then that gives us that little. We're getting that horror feel, but then you're giving me a little storyline, and then I'm sitting there going like, well, what does that mean? Why does she say that? Or who is she talking to? And then it all kind of twists around and gives you a little something. I love those. I'm a fan of those. So, hey, this one does check that box for me. You didn't give me blood and gore. You didn't give me on-screen kills, but you did give me the little twist that had my attention. But as it kind of like in the description, when the movie starts off, it's kind of showing you go in, it's almost like a POV view, and it's like somebody kind of walking towards a house and walking up in a house. You don't really see anything. It looks like somebody's walking through a house, and you see on a news report that this notorious serial kill. I hate that word, throws me off every time. Unless I'm about to eat a bowl of cereal, then it's different. But serial killer, that one kind of trips me up sometimes. But basically, notorious serial killer. I think they call him Mr. Sleep. Has been executed. Like the dude had his run, he got caught, he was executed. And so that was on the TV screen. You see the TV report kind of, that little thing scrolls across the bottom of the screen type shit. And then we go upstairs We got a girl playing like computer online game, like shooting game online, playing it. When I first watched it, because you see the door and you hear it, and then when it kind of opens, you kind of go into the room and it shows her from behind. And I'm thinking like a teenager playing on online video games. And then while she's playing the game, of course, she got her headphones on. You hear this like growling, gurgling type sound. And when she takes her headphones off, you can tell she hears it. And her door's kind of cracked open. So and when it shows her face, I'm like, I hope they're not trying to sell her as a fucking teenager, because not even close. But yeah. Oh, before I get into this thing, let me go ahead and back up, because I totally forgot to give credit to the director and writer, Rob Hollix. I may be saying that wrong. British writer, producer, filmmaker, Rob Hollocks. Hollix. Maybe I'm saying that right. But yeah, I meant to give the director's name. My bad, Rob. I apologize, brother. But if you want to know any more about him, you can literally, it's all on IMDb. You can Google it, look him up. The dude ain't just some random name. The dude's been at the top of like some big time stuff, and so, but yeah, check him out. But yeah, so when she's sitting in the office, her little room, and when I see her face, I'm like, well, definitely not a teenager. Don't try to sell her as a teenager, because it just doesn't work. When she gets up, she goes to the door. When she gets over to the door, she goes to close it. When she goes to close the door, you see this creature hand come around the edge of the door. All you see is the hand, like the fingers, these long, creepy looking fingers grab her hand. And when she kind of snatches, it's like she kind of snaps out of it. And then it's just her standing at the door. And so then I'm like, right off the bat, I'm thinking it's going to be, I didn't know really what I was thinking. I just seen this creepy looking fucking hand. And I'm just like, okay, is this going to be like some, monster in the closet type shit, where it's just like some demonic, devilish looking thing? I don't know, because this hand just kind of made me see it in a different direction that it does not go at all. So when she kind of snaps out of it, she's just standing there by herself. And then it starts giving you kind of like the opening credits after that. She goes back over there to her little computer, gets back on her headphones, and she's back to gaming. And, I'm not hating on somebody that games, because like I said, she's not a teenager. She looks more like she's in her mid-20s. And so definitely not hating on the fact that she's gaming at that age. Hell, I turned 48 in August, and I have been deep into some college football 2025 for the last almost, week and a half. So I have no problem with the gaming stuff. So I wasn't hating on that. And so then when the credits started, it starts showing you like those maps. You see them in a lot of the kind of like criminal shows. They got a map of the city. They got the little red pin stuck in there, like, oh, this is where the killer struck here, and they got the little red yarn tracking everything, and that's kind of what it's showing. And it's basically all about this Mr. Sleep, this notorious serial killer. God, that word fucks me up. But and you just got like news clippings and stuff, and a couple of them shows like how many he's killed and stuff like that. That's just kind of the opening credits. And then when it starts off, it gives you like Monday, like it's letting you know this is Monday. And I want to say the whole thing happens over like a Monday through Friday process, and after you get like the beginning of the girl, and she sees that creepy arm, that hand that comes out, I'm automatically thinking, okay, monster in the closet type shit. It's going to be some like creepy creature that's like, I don't know. That's just where I was thinking. And then I'm sitting there going, well, is it some fucking serial killer that is resurrected? That is some, that had his ghost or something, your mind starts trying to figure shit out. And I like stuff like that. I like it that it gave me something that it made me think one thing, and then it takes me another direction. I enjoyed that. I liked it. Um, so far, what I'm seeing when I'm watching it is it's shot very, very well. And like I said, not a professional here. I know y'all, I'm not. So when I say I look at something, I'm like, shit, that looks pretty good to me. I'm a simple mind, people. I'm a simple guy. So in my opinion, the way it looked, it was shot very well. Because one of the things that catches me when it comes to a lot of your lower budget movies that I've watched, you've watched them, and for some reason, it's always something about the sound that just kind of throws that it kind of gives me that like, yep, that's just a little cheaper, maybe. I don't know. Because you can always hear it with like the walking on the ground and all that shit just seems to really stand out to me. And so, but for me, this one sound and the way it looked was shot very well. Um, but yeah, so Monday morning, it starts off Monday. And we get our girl who was gaming, whose name comes out to be Felicia, you know, by Felicia, that type of Felicia. Um, she's up watching like a YouTube video. She's watching some like it's almost like a podcast, kind of like this type thing that we do here. It's I forget what it's called, something murder or something, but it's kind of like this murder podcast. This lady's talking about some shit and she's watching it, and she's kind of like at the kitchen table or whatever. Then you see this guy come downstairs, and apparently it's her dad. And so when he comes downstairs, and he's kind of like asking her, like, you know, and then I'm looking at him like, what the fuck? Like, well, obviously she's not a teenager. You can tell she's in her like mid-20s type look. And I'm like at her dad's house, and I'm just like, what is I don't know. I didn't know what was going on. And we're back in it shows us a shot of the prison. We go to the prison, and then it's going to kind of give you your first look at Mr. Sleep. He's been executed. He's in the morgue, laid out on the table, really big guy. You got the little morgue guy, the mortician type dude, whatever the fuck you call him. He's he kind of like makes a couple comments towards him. And he's like, it looks like your slicing and dicing days are over, and he says some shit like, calls him ugly or some shit. Um, and then he kind of goes over to his computer to like, I guess to fill out the files or whatever comes with it. And then he puts his headphones in. He puts his little AirPods or whatever in his ear. And I don't see how when I seen that, I'm like, I couldn't do that. Like, if I had that for a job and I'm sitting there, I'm like, I would want to be able to hear shit. Like I would want to know. But that may creep me out also. Maybe I'm different because see, I'm the type people that I don't believe in like ghosts and all that type of shit. I just don't. That's just me. Come at me if you want to. I don't care. I don't believe in shit like that. And so, but yeah, when I seen him put the earpods in, it automatically let me know right then, like, yep, some shit's about to happen, and you're not going to hear it, and it's going to be a surprise to you. Um, so while he's doing this, next thing you know, you see the body sits up on the little morgue table, stands up, comes over there, and then he just kind of like puts him in a chokehold. And I thought maybe that was him killing him because when it was done, it was really quick and just kind of basic. And so at first I was just kind of like, was that the kill? Like you're this badass Mr. Sleep who has killed all these people. And now you set up from your deathbed, you come over there, you put your hands around this dude's neck, and that was it. His head kind of slumped over. And I was like, what the fuck? I don't, was that the kill? And I was right then, I was kind of like, oh, that was disappointing. Because because I even put, I do like little voice notes on my phone while I'm watching. I even put on, I was like, well, that was a quick, boring death, you know. Um, then when it goes back to Felicia's house, you see a guy comes up, this guy Glenn. He's delivering a box. And at this point, I've realized, you'll realize I'm kind of speed through some of this, but Felicia does not want to leave the house. Uh, Early on, you don't know how long this has been going on because you can tell. I realized that when this dude Glenn shows up, he brings like this box, this package. I guess it was like her mail or something, and he kind of sits it in a chair next to the door. She comes down there, opens the door, and she's talking to him, and they know each other, and he gets ready to leave, and she kind of looks at him. She kind of like, "Hey, can you?" And she kind of points at the chair, and she wanted him to pick that box up and hand it to her because she couldn't even step out of the house onto the front porch of her house to grab that box. Like she was right on the door, right where the door is. She wouldn't come out of the house. And I was like, oh, she's, one of those that, just been inside and now she doesn't want to go out. And I totally get that, people, because hey, if this guy could not have to leave my house, I would not. All my stuff is here. All my toys are here. If I did not have to leave my house, I wouldn't. So I wasn't even hating on it. I'm like, well, damn it, Felicia, you living the good life, you know. But as it kind of goes on, it you come to find out that apparently she suffers from like insomnia. And later it kind of gives you this like a little Zoom video call. The Zoom video call, you got this doctor. She's got these, I think it was like 5 or 6 patients in this Zoom call. They are all part of this like trial to help with insomnia. All of them have the same problem. So you'll see when the box is delivered, there's something in that box. It's like a bottle. And then it's like this little, almost looks like them little VR Oculus headsets people wear. But this it's what it looks like. Kind of goes over your eyes. But this whatever this liquid is in this little bottle that comes in the package, part of this study is you kind of mix it with water. You're supposed to take a little bit of it and then put the little mask on your eyes and then go to sleep. It's supposed to, I guess, track your, what the fuck you call that shit? The REM sleep. I don't know how to say that shit, but it's supposed to track all that. And they're part of this study. So they do these little Zoom calls, like, and maybe once a week or every day. I'm not sure. But so it's going to be these group of people, not just like, they're not like, one of them's kind of young, one of them's kind of older. So it's like just a group, and they're all part of this little trial with this doctor. And to see, I guess, if it's something that can help with the insomnia. And while this is going on, it's kind of going back and forth, and it's going to kind of go back to the Mr. Sleep with the guy in the morgue, and him choking him, of course, is not the kill. This is the first time I got the feeling of, is this going to be one of those like off-screen kill type of movies? Because the little dude that worked there is kind of like on the table now, and he's got like a gag in his little mouth, and he's kind of like strapped down with some evidence tape or something to the table. Mr. Sleep comes around there, grabs him, and has like a scalpel. And it does show it up close. He takes that scalpel and he runs it across his forehead. And I'm like, oh, is he about to peel his face off? I was ready for it. But then the camera kind of goes behind Mr. Sleep, and you hear the screaming and you kind of hear the sounds, and you see him kind of like pull something up. I couldn't tell if he like, I think, maybe he just scalped him or something. I'm not sure, but you don't really see it. You kind of know what happens. And then Mr. Sleep just leaves, goes off to getting ready to do some Mr. Sleep things. Of because while all this is going on, it goes back to the Felicia in her house, and then it kind of goes back, and now we've moved on to like Tuesday. Mr. Sleep is on a mission because he's going to come across somebody else that he's going to kill. And this, to me, the kill that goes down could have been, in my opinion, the coolest looking kill to see, because like this was the one that I was pulling for. Mr. Sleep's in this place. He's looking for some clothes or something. It's like a little store. I don't really know, but the guy comes in that kind of owns it. He sees this person standing there. He's like, "Hey man, can I help you?" type thing. He's trying to be super nice. Older guy, cowboy hat type shit. And like this was the one kill, because you see it kind of, they have their moment together or whatever. But Mr. Kill is going to have these like big fish hooks, because he asked the guys, I need some fishing line. And you see him kind of messing with these fish hooks. And then I'm thinking like, well, that this must be his plan for later on. He's trying to get all this little kit together to go do whatever the fuck he's going to do. But no, the fishing hook and fishing line was for this kill. He's going to take this dude out. This dude did nothing to him. It's just Mr. Sleep. He's just fucking killing. But it gives you a shot. You start hearing like the guy, and he's kind of moving around, and you see like these hooks, and you see like kind of like it's in his clothes, and you see like some blood dripped on the floor. Well, then when it finally gives you the shot of it, he has put this dude on like a little, it's almost like how a pallet jack works, but it's like a little flat one. And he has jacked this little platform up underneath the man. The man's kind of standing on it, but then when it shows that he has put hooks into him, like around his face, and then like down his arms, and he's kind of got him stretched out. And then he starts messing with the dude. He starts lowering that little pallet jack. And the lower he drops him, you could tell it's like putting tension on those hooks that is like in his face and shit. Like they do give you a shot of that. Like you see the shot of like the hooks in his face and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, hell yeah. Like I wanted, is he going to like just let him drop, and we're going to get that shot of everything just ripping, you don't, because I told you earlier, you don't, it's off screen type stuff. But for me, that would have been the one, like if I could have chipped in a little bit and be like, hey man, I got it. Everything can be off screen, but just let us have this one kill. Just let's work this thing out. Let's see what we can do to like just see the skin rip off his face and stuff like that. Would have been pretty cool to see. But it's another off screen. It kind of shows you when he finally lets the dude kind of hang there. He just kind of slaps the little card out of the way, and the dude, you can tell he drops because it give us a shot of his cowboy boots, but that's it. But so as it goes on, the podcast that Felicia's listening to, this person, you don't see the person's face on the show, but just her voice. She basically has an interview tapes that this person, this doctor, had with Mr. Sleep. And it's her sitting down with him doing this interview. And he starts talking about it, and the dude makes comments about how, when he's talking to her, and basically says, I forget what the hell he said about how long it had been since he had slept. I think he made the comment like, I haven't slept since I was like 14. And apparently that happened, like this dude had killed his parents. He was fucked in the head early on, killed his parents, insomnia type shit. So, and I couldn't imagine, I don't know, like I don't have that issue. Like I'm one of those, like, I wake up super early, but as long as I get my normal, about 6 hours a night, I'm good. But I couldn't imagine just how your body would feel, how your mind would be of just not being able to sleep, because you could tell like a couple times, like with Felicia, it would show her, maybe sleep a couple hours and then be wide awake and stuff like that. Um, for some reason in my mind, I'm thinking, at some point you would just hit this point of exhaustion where you would just sleep, man. Like at some point, I would think that your body's just like, fuck it, you've had enough. We're sleeping now. But I'm not smart. I don't know how all that shit works. But while this interview's going on, it kind of does a flashback, kind of gives you a little flashback to the lady. I think it was like 3 years prior. She's giving an interview it's that interview the lady's having with Mr. Sleep, the killer. The lady in the interview is the same doctor who is doing these Zoom calls with these like 5 or 6 people who are suffering from insomnia, who's taking this little bottle or whatever and putting on the fucking VR mask to track sleeping. And so same doctor. Then it's going to kind of start peeling it back a little bit. Because our girl Felicia and Glenn, the dude who came and dropped the box off, they start having a little, a little front porch romance because she ain't leaving the fucking house. Like there's a couple times he'll come over there, bring her a little drink, milkshake, a little lunch, and he will literally sit on the front porch against the door, and she sits inside the door, and they sit there, with the door open and just having a conversation. And I'm like, that would not fucking work because flies and shit come up in the house, and I do not do that. That would just be like, no door, because it was weird to me because later on she invites him into the house. Like he can come in the house. She's cool with somebody else coming in there, like him coming in there. But I'm just like, why are we sitting out here on the porch? Maybe and they knew each other. It wasn't like he was some stranger. They knew each other. Now, when all this is going on, you start working. My mind starts going, I wonder if, because earlier on is going to kind of give you a shot of Mr. Sleep, but kind of like his lower half, like knees down. He's got like these jeans and cowboy boots on. But then later on, I see Glenn, oh country boy. He's got some damn cowboy boots and shit on and some jeans. And I'm sitting there going, oh shit, Glenn's the killer. Like right out of the bat, early on, I'm kind of like, oh, got it. I figured it out. I already know. I thought I was smart. I thought I had some shit figured out. But hold on one second. Everybody grab your drink. Take us a break. Gentleman Jack break. Thank you. Oh shit. Hiccup. Now, so the whole her and Glenn thing, it kind of makes me start thinking, okay, he's got to have something to do with it. And then you start thinking, okay, this is going to be, is it just this like, I don't know, is it like a spiritual thing? Like when I seen that dude sit up on the little table in the morgue, like is this some like he's possessed type shit? Somebody, do a little magic spell or something to bring him back. I don't know. That's where I'm going with it because I'm thinking like, okay, but yeah, and then it kind of starts. A detective comes in. He's investigating because bodies are turning up now. The dude in the morgue. They got the dude who had his basically his face ripped off. Some people are turning up dead. Then people start turning up dead who are part of the Zoom call. That 5 or 6 people that are in that Zoom thing with that doctor, they start getting killed off by Mr. Sleep because they don't hide the fact that Mr. Sleep's doing it. Like you can tell like he's there killing these people. But it's this group that is a part of this class that the doctor who interviewed him, this class she's putting on. and I don't want to give away the end, the spoilers of how it kind of unravels because it is newer, and I want people to be able to watch it and kind of have that like you know, oh shit, I can that's what's going on, that type of thing. Because that's where I was when it started kind of, peeling back, and you because there's a part where the doctor makes a phone call and she's like talking to somebody, and you can tell like it's one of those kind of like the gigs up type, like, and then you start thinking, well, who the fuck is she talking to? Like, is and then that kind of later on kind of gets revealed. And yeah, I don't want to give away the ending of this one. It is a ending to where, for me it was a good surprise ending because I had me thinking, from the early on when you see the little hand come out of the door, looks like this little monster in the closet type shit, and then that's nothing. Um, And then later I'm thinking, I'm like, well, maybe it's just, the fact that she was suffering from like this insomnia thing. And maybe at this point, her mind's fucking with her and she's hearing things, seeing things type stuff. Um, but yeah, it all starts getting revealed because, and don't get me wrong, people, there's some stuff that goes on in this movie that I'm kind of like, but how did that happen without this person knowing it, or did because there's just certain things in it. Um, there's some of the kills in it, especially toward the end when the ending comes to and everything's finally coming together. The some of the kills in the end of it makes you go, how could she do that, or how would that happen? Um, One of the things that kind of did bug me in this thing is that apparently our girl Felicia is like, I don't know, 24, 25 apparently, because apparently she went off to college. She went off to college, did like 5 years out of university, came home, and basically didn't leave again. It didn't really go into why, like what was it that kind of set that off, because she's like, you come to find out that she had been in the house for like 2.5 years without leaving. Um, I didn't see a problem in that. I'm like, well, that sounds like a fucking dream come true, you know. But so you don't really know, or maybe I just missed it or over didn't hear it or something of what made her not want to leave. Um, because something did go down with her mother. She's there with her dad. She's living there with her dad. The thing that bugged me was the way her and Glenn were. Um, it was almost like it was a 12 or 13-year-old girl who has finally encountered a boy she liked for the first time, because there's a couple really cheesy parts and some of the shit they say and the way they are. I'm just like, you act like you're 12 or 13 and you've never had a boyfriend or seen a boy, kissed a boy or nothing. But it is what it is. But yeah, the ending, I don't want it, because if I keep going, it's going to start, I have to start revealing like what's going on. But Mr. Sleep is going after these fucking people that's got insomnia. Um, the reason comes out later. Like I said, it's got a little twist to it. It it's not like it when I first seen the Mr. Sleep, I thought maybe this thing was going to turn into like a slasher type flick. You know, I thought it was going to, and then that was going to kind of be boring to me, because if it was going to be a slasher and all your slashing took place off screen, I was like, no, I wasn't going to enjoy that. But it's not a slasher. Um, it it's got a little psychological type shit to it. Uh, you pay attention to, especially like to the interviews and some of the things like he talks about the her about how he's into the memories of people. He wants their memories type things. And all of that kind of comes out, but you're not going to get any really good kills in this one. It's pretty basic off screen type stuff. Like I said, this one is one of those horror movies that if somebody that's not really big into horror, that just not really into the blood killing all that shit, and they just like a little horror movie that's got like a little little thriller twist to it. It's definitely one they can watch. You're not going to get, like I said earlier, you're not getting nudity, you're not getting a lot of bad language, you're not getting gory type stuff, and but for me it was an enjoyable watch. I had things that bugged me that I didn't like, off-screen kills and, you know, 25-year-old girl acting like she's fucking 12 and never seen a boy before. Um, the outfit that Mr. Sleep has, his little getup, it if anybody ever watched like WWE wrestling back in the day, not the newer shit. I'm not a huge fan of the newer shit. I'm talking like, uh early 2000s, mid 2000s and all that shit. We're talking like the Stone Cold days, The Rock, Degeneration X, those days, Mankind, Undertaker, back those days, he had this look of like how the Undertaker would always have like this long black trench coat that looked like it had all these little buckles and shit all over it, you know, and especially like, not like early on Undertaker, but a little later on. And he kind of looked like that. And really big guy. And he had this like long black trench coat and shit, but then he had himself like this almost like a scarecrow looking mask. And it looked pretty cool. It did look like like a character he could walk onto WWE and it could be his intro mask type shit. Um, really big guy. When it came down to the end of it, and everything is going down, and people are it's time to fight for our lives, people. Um, I'm kind of questioning, like, big bad Mr. Sleep kind of gets his ass handed to him a little bit by just a couple just average Joes, just it was just kind of odd to me. But I had a good time watching it. It was, it had my attention because I'm expecting one thing in the beginning, and then it kind of goes a different direction, and it starts kind of peeling back a little bit, and you start figuring out what's going on. Some of it's not so, big secret type shit. Some of it is just kind of like, oh, okay, got it. It is what it is. But I had fun with it. It was one of those that, glad I watched, glad I enjoyed it. Um, I gotta kill it though. I gotta kill it because it's not one I want to watch again. And I'm not saying that in I have had some on here that I killed just because it was a pile of dog shit and I just fucking hated it. But this one is not one of those. It's not one I hated. It was I went into it knowing, independent horror, low budget type stuff, you know, and I was okay with it. It gave me a little twist in the end. Yeah, it kind of had its cheesy moments, but hey, I'm cool with that. I had a good time watching it. So yeah, you definitely got to check it out. Free on Tubi. It's not going to cost you anything. It's only like an hour and a half long, so you're not going to. It's not super extreme type shit. It's your just basic, horror thriller with a little twist in it and stuff like that. But yeah, definitely check it out. It's definitely a kill for me. Hey, I'm not going back to it again, but I still had fun watching it. I love horror movies, and You know, there's been a ton of them I've watched where it's like, you know, you have to make yourself get to the end of it. You're like, I have a bad habit of once I start a movie, I have to finish it. You know, I just have to. And so I've sat through some that are just, whew, bad. But hey, I made it through it. But yeah, this one was fun for me. It's a good watch, you know. But hey, to each is their own. I'm curious what other people think of it. If you've seen it, swing by in a comment, let me know. If you haven't seen it and you watch it, then once again, swing by in the comments, let me know. I would like to, you know, you ain't got to go into detail with me. Just give me a fuck, marry, kill. That's all I really got to do. That's how we do it here. You know, you just jump in the comment, and be like, I'd fuck it, or I'd kill it, or I'd marry it, and then leave us a 5-star and all that good shit. But yeah, that's it, man. Mr. Sleep, free on Tubi 2024. Just go watch it. You know, don't just scroll past it because of something that you know you may see it and read it, whatever. You know, check it out. That's how I've come across it. Like I said earlier, a ton of them on Tubi that I just scroll through, and I just if something jumps out, I'll sit there and watch it. It's an hour and a half, you know, and but yeah, I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. I appreciate you all tuning in once again and listening to the shit show. Everybody, grab your drink. Let's take us another break one more time. Oh, gentlemen, Jack break. Thank you. We'll be back next week. I don't know what next week's show will be. No clue at all. I got a couple people that I'm talking to about doing some movies. I've been in touch with Lucy from Australia about doing it. We got a movie or two that we're talking about doing. I got Dylan. We're talking about doing the Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey. Me and my little bro John. We got one we're talking about doing. So, you know, I got some that I would want to do, but I don't know when I'm going to do them. So yeah. But like I said earlier, if somebody got a suggestion, or if there's a movie that you would like us to get on here and shoot the shit about, you know, hit me up, let me know, leave a comment. If I ain't talked about it, I'll probably fucking watch it and talk about it if I haven't already done it. So I'm cool with it. But yeah, appreciate y'all hanging out. Appreciate you taking a little time out of your day. Now, hope everybody has a good weekend. We'll see you all next week. We've reached that time of the show, people. I need all you little fuckers to reach over there and grab your drinks. Need you to put your chairs away. Gather up your shit and get the fuck out of here.
What's your favorite scary movie?
We have such sights to show you.
Monsters!
All you have left is my desire.
My name is Frankenstein!
That man's got nerves.
Oh, no tears, please. It's a waste of good suffering.
See this? This is my boomstick.
I ate his liver with some fava beans. I screamed. Christmas.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
It's alive. It's alive.
Here's Johnny. I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash your brains.
There are certain rules that one must abide by in order to successfully survive a horror.
Welcome to the debauchery.